Welcome back to another Alvado video. Now in today's video, we're going to be watching a game played by Prestivent, also known as P-God. This game was played during day 2 of the Corrupted Cup, and if you're following along with the tournament, you might have known that P-God actually didn't make it past day 1. He was 1 point away from qualifying, but since he was 1 point away from qualifying, that means that he was actually next in line if someone ended up dropping out, and it just so happened that someone did, and so he was able to play during day 2. And what ended up happening is that he actually qualified for day 3, and we're going to be watching one of those games that he played in order to qualify. Let's get into this game. He went for bow off of carousel, and he actually missed bow and went for sword. He got dropped a triple 2-cost orb, and he found a Vi in the orb, and then he's holding on to this Kale. So he's trying to play, his immediate ideas that he's trying to play around underground. You can see that he ends up actually getting an econ opener. And we can see that the very first augment of the game is a silver augment. Now he's going to take a very long time scouting here, because consistency is easily one of the most broken augments in the game. I still think people would choose it even if it was a gold hero augment. But the issue with the augment is that it's very easy to, not be able to utilize all of the strength in the augment. You do not know what consistency does. Consistency makes it so that whenever you get win streak or lose streak gold, instead of getting, the normal amount, you get twice the amount of gold. And it is way too inconsistent to try and be able to win streak. You never know when someone's going to high roll, and on top of that, you're playing down a silver augment because you're not getting any combat power from it. So a very common strategy is to just lose streak. And I mean, he has literally the most insane opener you could get with this. Now, like I said, he did a lot of scouting. He checked a lot of people to make sure that no one was going to contest his lose streak. And this guy that he had just fought right here was the only player that could have contested his loss streak. So now that he knows that he doesn't really have to worry about losing for the rest of stage 2, he can just very simply play 3 underground and, lose streak. I'm going to go ahead and go to the next stage. Okay, here we are at Krugs. He started sword, got dropped bow, and then he didn't get dropped a 3rd component because he actually got an econ opener. Also, one of the factors playing into why he should be lose streaking. And then he went for glove off of carousel. We can see he makes last whisper here. And I'm going to talk more about the strength of consistency. So, when you either win streak or lose streak, you get double the gold, right? Two win streak or 2 loss streak, you get 1 extra gold per round that you can maintain the streak. If you start getting a 4 loss or win streak, then you get 2 extra gold. And then if you get a 5 or more win streak or loss streak, then you get 3 extra gold. So we can see that he has 5 loss right here. And instead of getting 3 gold for this 5 loss, he's going to be getting 6 gold. So he's going to be getting 5 gold for interest, 6 gold for consistency, and then 5 gold through the game normally, because you always get 5 gold every single round. So every single turn, he's going to be getting, what is that? 16 gold. And, a lot of that is coming through consistency. Now, if you compare consistency to something like AFK, AFK gives you 20 gold after 3 rounds played. I went ahead and did the math, and as long as you 5 streak, then you get 10 gold going into stage 3 with the 5 streak from consistency. So yes, you're getting about half the gold, but the thing is that most of the value that you're getting from consistency is those extended streaks. So a lot of the benefit comes from these rounds here, where he's continuing to push more losses to extend his streak. And also, of course, you get the consistency gold throughout the entirety of the game. So you will see a lot of players, how they play consistency is they often hoard a massive amount of gold, and then there's something that turns on this switch where they understand when they're strong enough, when they're stable enough to kind of push to start win rounds. And then you're going to see, them holding a lot of their gold to try and guarantee a win streak for the rest of the game. And if you can, 7, 8, 9 loss, and then from that point on just continue winning, then you're going to have so much gold by the end of the game that consistency like almost feels like a prismatic augment sometimes. And it's just a silver. Okay, so a lot of things happened, but something that I want to make sure you caught is that, of course, he got last stand. So talking about this idea where you're sacking a lot of these rounds to get the maximum value out of the gold from consistency, and then swapping into, starting like a massive win streak, last stand plays into that game plan perfectly. He was also able to cash out his underground. He got a Thieves Gloves, a Morello, and a Reforger. Thieves Gloves, of course, being one of the most flexible items that you can play. You can basically put on any unit you want. And Morello making it so that he doesn't have to worry about building anti-heal. Those are two really strong items that you can get. Now, everyone knows that the game of TFT starts on stage 4, especially in one of these games like this when we're going fast 8. So before we start getting into the game, I'm going to plug the watch party. Prestivent is right now currently playing on day 2 of the event. Day 3 is happening this weekend. If you want to further watch, storyline like Prestivents, join my Discord. We're going to be watching, we're going to be participating in a watch party for the event. My Discord link should be in the bio of this video. Okay, we can see the final items that he gets here. He gets dropped a bow and a rod, and he's going level 8, and he's going to be rolling all the way down to 0 gold because he's going to want to start in stabilizing. He's going to try and start stabilizing, and he wants to, figure out some direction. Now, of course, this is one stage before the final hero augment in the game. There's a 78% chance that the last augment is going to be a hero augment. So he just barely realizes that he needs to get Swift Shot or Sure Shot in, and he just throws in a Senna and a Sivir to make sure he has Sure Shot odds. You can see the final augment of the game actually is hero, and it's 555, extremely rare. And instead of just rolling for Aphelios here, which he very easily could do, he actually made note that earlier on in the game he scouted the weather. It was windy weather, and he actually thinks exaggerated forecast with windy weather is just really strong. I definitely learned something from watching this game because I thought for sure you just roll for Aphelios there. But I mean, realistically, Janna 1 with exaggerated forecast is essentially a Janna 2, so you're kind of just getting, Janna 2 for free, so it's definitely pretty strong. Also, I don't think he did this, but a lot of people chose Aphelios augments. Maybe he was thinking it would be too difficult to hit Aphelios 2. You can see that he went and put all of his items on this Samira because he's going to want to, he's going to hit Samira 2 before he hits Aphelios 2. And it's probably going to be a while before he hits Aphelios 2. He rolled all of his gold on level 8, and yes, he is, kind of poor now, but the thing is that since he got so much extra gold from earlier on in the game, he really isn't that poor because look at his board, right? He has almost an entirely upgraded 4-cost frontline, and he has a lot of legendary units. So it might look like he has very little gold to work with, but a lot of the gold that he has is invested onto his board, and I think a lot of people don't often take that into consideration. Another pretty cool play here, he's able to get a Zac 2, and instead of selling this traitless Nyla to put in this Zac, instead he drops this Nunu because of the Thieves Gloves items that this Nyla has. A Nyla with a Warmog Stone Plate, just out of pure luck, that's not a Nyla 2 anymore, that's like a Nyla 2.5, so you gotta make sure you are always taking stuff like that into consideration. Even the Nyla didn't have any traits, still a really strong frontline unit, and you can see that he doesn't like RFC Zeeks, and he goes ahead and chooses to sell the Nyla. Now, another pretty interesting decision here, he puts the Thieves Gloves on set. He had a 2-star Zac, a Nunu 1, a 2-star Echo, and a 2-star Set. Now, why did he put the Thieves Gloves on Set? I think there's 2 reasons. One, Set is not only a tank, but he's also, he has half half of his ability deals like a lot of damage. So Set can more easily utilize like various Thieves Gloves items. In that last round, he got more tank items, but you can see in this round here, I know it's like on, you know, PvE round, but he gets Ginsu RFC. You know, a Set would be able to use those items a lot better than Zac. The second reason is that this Set is not going to be on his final board, so he's very like the Set is going to be disposed of later on in the game, and then he can make the decision on who he wants to put the Thieves Gloves later on, like later down the line. Doesn't have too much free time in this previous turn. He wasn't able to get the most value out of that Thieves Gloves, and he goes ahead and makes his final items. Now, if you did not catch that, he went for Aphelios off of Carousel to get Aphelios pair, but then he actually had to sell the Aphelios because he needed the belt to complete his tank items. He got cloak, belt, chain, and then he had the extra belt on the Aphelios. And in order to, you know, complete his items, he had to actually sell the Aphelios pair to make sure that he could itemize this Zac. You can see a lot of people in this lobby are playing AD. And again, I mean, I want to point out that he's now on a 4 streak, so he's on fire. So he's getting a lot more gold from this, from the streak because of this early consistency. He also has not hit 1 HP yet, so he has guaranteed 2 lives. He goes against this very strong Yuumi player, and just so you know how strong this Yuumi comp is, his opponent is playing down an entire hero augment. He has a Syndra, and it's just sitting on the bench because he didn't have enough gold to put the Syndra in. And he's able to, on level 6, beat Prestivent's board. And just out of sheer luck, Prestivent was able to get down to 2 HP, which is the perfect amount of HP that you can hope for when you're playing around Last Stand. He's guaranteed 2 lives. He goes for Fiddlesticks off of Carousel with Edge of Night, and I thought the reason why he did that was because he actually wanted the Edge of Night so he could more effectively use the windy weather. I thought he was going to put the Edge of Night on Aphelios, but he actually just wanted the Fiddlesticks. He just reforged the Edge of Night on Fiddle, he got a Shojin, and then he just put Fiddlesticks on his board instead. I think like Nunu or something. No, he still has Nunu. I forget what he dropped, but dropped something. And so yeah, so I mean, we can see his board right here. He goes ahead and makes this pretty wild play here. Of course, you really want, like, Janna pair is really important, especially when you have exaggerated forecast. But he thought the Morello would be better on Fiddlesticks, and then he goes ahead and puts the Shojin on Aphelios. Now that he doesn't have Morello on Janna, it's not as important to get for her to get that cast off, and he's now it's taken down into Last Stand range. He's now on 1 HP. But if you didn't realize, oh, that's why he was able to fit the Fiddlesticks in. It's because he's level 9. Yeah, exaggerated forecast, making it so that her weather effect gets increased by 100% chance. You can see he's still able to get this Janna. So instead of getting 25 AD and AP every 5 seconds, he now is getting 50 AD and AP every 5 seconds because of exaggerated forecast. You know for a fact that he would definitely not have taken this Janna if it was sunny or rainy weather. Really goes to show how important it is to make sure you scout Janna. I definitely don't do it as much as I probably should. And in spots like that, you actually can't check the weather if you're like looking at an augment or something. So you need to make sure, yeah, you like take like a mental note. He's able to get a Nunu 2, and he just puts the Thieves Clothes on the Nunu. He you know, he removed the set for this Urgot, and now that he has a Nunu 2, it was a good decision to put this Thieves Clothes on the set. Like I had said earlier, set was never going to be on his final board. So if he would have made the decision of putting the Thieves Clothes on like Echo or something, then he wouldn't be able to, you know, take the Echo off his board because he wants the Echo. He still doesn't have a Felios 2. He's kind of just still carrying a Samira 2, and then, you know, a lot of upgraded 5 costs, upgraded 4 costs. And then he's really benefiting from this Last Stand. If you don't know, Last Stand gives your entire team 180 HP, 18% Omnivamp, 18 armor and MR, and I think that's it. I don't think it gives you 1880 in AP, but it might, I'm not sure. Now he goes for blue buff off of this final carousel. I believe he puts this on Janna, because it's a Janna 2. If it was if it was Urgot 2 and Janna 1, he probably would put it on Urgot. But a lot of these 5 costs that have CCs on them, their CCs also like increase in how long they stun the enemy units for whenever they're upgraded. So you can expect a Janna 2 to stun for longer than an Urgot 1, and vice versa. This is going to be the last fight of the game here. I'm going to go ahead and slow this down. We can watch the fight in its entirety. And it's against this Yuumi board. So you can see his opponent was able to get this Syndra in. But the thing is that at the very beginning, or the very end of stage 5, when Prestivent lost to this guy, he was level 60 gold. And you can see that he's just able to have enough money to put this Syndra on his board. And that's really it. He really did not get that much stronger, whereas Prestivent got a lot stronger. Prestivent was able to get, you know, Nunu 2, he was able to get Syndra 2, he was able to get an Urgot, he leveled up. And yeah, I mean, Prestivent's able to turn this consistency into a dub after choosing to take the Janna carry, or the Janna support hero augment instead of a Felios. Very interesting decision there. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Like the video if you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.